All right, that's 6 o'clock. So I call to order the meeting of Scotland County Board of Commissioners, November 4th, 2024. I'd first like to ask Commissioner B.J. Gibson for our invitation.
Would you bow your heads with me? Our God and our Father, we come tonight to say thank you. You have been ever so kind and loving to us, and for that we give your name thanks. We ask that you will lead us, guide us, and direct us as we discuss the business of this community, and help us to make the best decisions that will be in the best benefit for the citizens of Scotland County. We ask all of these things in your name we pray. Amen.
You want to stand for the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to break from your appointed agenda or printed agenda and ask Commissioner Whit Gibson to join me up here. As you know or may not know, Commissioner Gibson is retiring, and this will be his last meeting tonight. Unless we have something happen, we have to meet in between. We don't put the curse. So we got a couple things for you. Number one, this flag flew over the state capitol. It's in grateful recognition of your outstanding service and dedication to Scotland County, presented this 4th day of November 2024 by Scotland County Board of Commissioners.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. And from the governor, Roy Cooper, the state of North Carolina, presents this North Carolina flag to Commissioner Whit Gibson, saying they signed by the governor. So you've got an official here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You want that ball? Yeah, we'll hold it close.
I think I can hang on to this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Congratulations. Here we go. We're doing
I asked them not to do anything for me.
in case you want to. All right, this time we'll look for an approval of the agenda. There is one item not printed on this agenda, and it is a short closed session at the end. That would be beyond revision for this. So I need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Time for a public forum. We have a Christy Rusko signed up from Family Promise, but my understanding is she's not here. Oh, she is here. Okay. They had somebody in your backup, that's why.
How are you today?
Good.
So I'm Christy Rusko. I am the Executive Director of Family Promise of Scotland County. We want to thank you for the $75,000 grant that was awarded to Family Promise in 2022. It has been instrumental in bringing us where we are today. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with Family Promise of Scotland County, we are in Warrenburg, right on South Caledonia Road, and we are getting ready to serve families experiencing homelessness with their children. We're a house, we're not a shelter, and we have beautiful rooms, and we are going to, it's a program, it's not a shelter, and we are going to start serving these families any day now, or week, and we really, really are excited And we've been partnering with the community, which has been amazing. If anyone's on my Facebook, you know. And local churches, organizations, individuals who've been contributing. I mean, just knocking on my door. I'm a single person just at my desk, and they knock on my door and hand me a check some days, or hand me a roll of toilet paper. So we take it all. Yeah, we just want to say thank you, and we run a community-based program with lots of volunteers, and that's what we're doing. Have anything for me?
You're on the corner of East Church and Caledonia, right?
Correct. And we're gonna have a sign that's coming up real soon.
I
Oh, yeah. What? Yes, in the old domestic violence shelter, so it's set up just right for us. Okay?
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Does anyone else would like to speak to the public forum? Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So move.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next is the NCACC legislative delegate. I had that put on because I'm going to that conference next week, and we need to have, I need the board to approve the voting delegate for that meeting. So this is a legislative goal. They only meet every 2 years, I think, on that. It's not an every year thing. So
You really serve the delegate?
yeah, I'm golden, but I still wanted an official.
I move to be
Okay.
official delegate for the South County Board.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And I think now, budget session, we didn't put in lots in there for this year for this conference. Our delegate, and I think enough to spend on items there, and I would ask the board to approve put back into our budget, the hotel and site for the delegate, but we took it all out. We were not aware at the time that we would have, we didn't know if we would have the funds or not, but we do. And so we have to be represented there, and so we have to pay for that delegate, for my motion that we.
Now, I don't want to get in front of your motion. Does that include the national?
They include the national too.
And
NACO, we are a member there, and we pay our membership dues, and that's where we go and get information at the national conference. And my motion also is that we go ahead and allow for those funds to be put back into the budget.
And one more item, if I can. Election is tomorrow. So either re-elected commissioners or new commissioners, whichever it is, has to go to their, what is it called? Ethics training. That be put back in there
Yeah.
too, because that's required, and we have to do that.
Yes.
Not trying to word your motion.
Yeah.
Was all of that your motion?
So was that a motion?
That's our motion, no.
Was that a motion, John?
She's
Yeah.
right, let's make sure she's got it called over in case there's a question. So that's the state association, the federal association, and then the required ethics training. Okay, so that's John's motion. Did I hear a second on that?
Yeah, second.
Vote was a second to it. Any other discussion?
Question,
Yes.
how much was budgeted last year?
I don't know how much the budget, we've never spent the budget. I mean,
I think what I looked at is about $11,000 altogether. That was everything.
Yeah.
And so when we say that we now have the money, I would make aware of that. Where do we have money from? That we didn't have before.
we know that, when we made the budget, okay, we were underestimating our income. So, from experience, I know that the money is there. It's there. Because we did not max out everything. We made statements concerning, what we would spend for certain things, and we would not, replace folks. And we already know that, we have combined social services and, I don't know if you're aware of it, the direct social service and health. We have a savings there.
By combining what the directors,
Human resources. Or direct.
Human resource.
Human resource. So we're doing some things, and we know the money's there.
Well, and I don't think,
But you have to have experience to know what I'm talking about.
we had not taken it all out anyway, because we still said the registration for it would be covered. It was just the travel part. So all the 11,000 probably half of it.
Yeah.
I guess. Probably not. That ain't enough.
And when we made the motion, when we said we wouldn't fund it this year, there's some things required, we didn't, that's when we should have discussed that. There's some like ethics training, delegate, we just say we wouldn't pay for those, mandatory things, but we have to. Okay?
Well, at the time we talked about it, we didn't have the money to do it.
Yeah.
But we found the money since then. Yeah,
We were playing politics
that's right.
during that time. Let's just be grown men. We were playing politics back then. So we were playing tug of war with each other.
Yeah, so it's not a huge amount, but it is something that,
It wouldn't have made a difference.
especially that ethics training. You all know, we've all been there. We all got to go back, you gotta go back to it whether you're re-elected or newly elected. So, and I don't think they're doing it online anymore. So, I know they did with COVID. All right, any more discussion about it? All in favor of the motion? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is the 2025 holiday calendar.
Yes, sir. So this is the time of year that you normally approve the holiday calendar rolling into the next calendar year. And so this is what we have proposed. It is basically the same holidays that our county offices are closed each year. Put them on your review, it was in your packet.
Any questions? Motion on the holiday calendar. We have a motion, we have a second. Second. All right, any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, then we'll go to the Board of Commissioner calendar for 2025.
Okay. So this would be your calendar of meetings for 2025. And so we listed regular meetings as the same time, the first Monday of the month at 6 o'clock in this room. And then we also listed potential meetings for budget meetings as we go into the first of 2025, through June 30th for those. And of course, those are starred because you may have them or you may determine that you don't need to have them before we get to the budget.
You'll see that the March meeting is not on the first Monday. The reason for that is the national that we were talking about in DC that day. So we moved it up a week. I would ask that our special meeting for Wednesday, April 23rd be changed to something earlier or very much later. My wife's watching, and I can't tell you why, but I'll be gone. But I don't know if we have another date to do that on.
Is that for one of the budget
Yes,
meetings?
April 23rd.
Okay. And you all, of Of course, you all can change those if you like, and you can wait until you get closer to that time to change them if you like.
Well, we can do that. Just
Right.
wait until you
Recess to a different day,
get, right.
if you like.
Okay, that'll work. That was the only section. Does anybody else have anything on that?
Any of that is approved.
Yes, we'll need a motion.
I move to approve the schedule, meetings for the committee. Second?
Motion and a second, any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, fiscal year 2024, end of year report, Ms. Hall, Alicia Sheriff's Office.
Good evening. Got numbers for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2024. We started out with an original budget of $53,546,672. We had a revised budget of $63,881,790. Of that, we brought in revenues at $58,156,000. I cannot talk tonight, sorry. $58,156,414. Expenditures, we brought in, spent $57,340,194. We have revenue over expenditures of $816,221.
So that was an overage
We have, right,
that we did not, that was your 800,000. That was 800,000. Okay.
and we are still maintaining right at 15% for unrestricted fund balance.
That counting what we counted this year.
That was at the end,
Appropriate.
right at the end of 24, yes.
Right?
I have a question. What is 48 other sources?
So other sources, that consists of fund balance and transfers from other funds. So the majority of what was transferred after the original budget versus the revised budget for, well, I'm going to use 48 as other sources, consisted of the ARPA dollars that we transferred back to as revenue replacement because I had that in its own special revenue fund. So that went back to the general fund to replace expenditures that we had incurred that were qualifying for ARPA purposes. And then
that was somewhere around $7 million.
so that was around $4 million for ARPA dollars. In the beginning, we had appropriated almost $3 million with transfers and fund balance appropriations in the original budget. We tacked on roughly almost 7.4 million with the 4 million in ARPA transfers. We had a few other rollovers from departments for grants. I.E. Johnson, we still had funds set aside for that in the previous year. So that was almost $1 million that we rolled forward into fiscal year 24. And then between the health department and DSS, that was almost, and economic development, that was almost another $1 million that we rolled over from fiscal year 23 into 24 to cover grants that we have not fully expended.
But I'm reading this right, we only spent about 31% of those.
And fund balance is more or less on paper versus, and so we can't look at that as we actually spent that on the revenue side, but it's more or less a placeholder. It's going to more show up on the expenditure side when we're actually spending those dollars back out throughout the programs.
All right, any more questions?
Well, I guess he was trying to get to where, what percentage of our budget. And now,
And this is 24.
yeah.
So as far as our unrestricted fund balance, we're maintaining it at 15%.
Anything? Nobody? All right, you want to. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
next one would be Mr. Queen's zoning and cemetery temporary waiver ordinance. Jim is not
So the temporary waiver for the family cemetery that we had spoke about last month, Ed made some corrections and I have it there in.
These are this is the suggested language to add to the ordinances that would become I say permanent, become your new version of family cemetery ordinances that pulls in what you all wanted as that waiver process.
Right.
So that people could go ahead and bury their loved one, but they are also held accountable to doing all the provisions that the zoning board feels is appropriate for a family cemetery. And it also builds in, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, civil penalties if they do not.
and all the day after the.
Non-compliance.
45 days.
Yeah.
I'll ask the same question that I tried to ask last month, Commissioner Batter, what fear do since he deals with this pretty daily, but when there you see that might be.
No. I would say the penalty is not imposed on, it's actually imposed on the spot, or the board has the ability and authority to impose a higher penalty, but it has to be related to trying to secure compliance. You can impose up to $500 a day, but I think the biggest suggestion is $50 a day, because I'm more feel like $100 a day to be accurate to secure compliance. But that was modified to that. And there was, I think the board was very clear last time that there was the mention of exhumation is very limited and could have.
Okay. The part about it in 11.22.5, which I think is good, it talks about it, you may still have to have a quasi-judicial. Says will still be necessary to include a quasi-judicial hearing to get the commission approval. I guess the quasi-judicial part seems if we're going to do that, too late for that anyway. But I mean, you told me I don't know. Because by the time we would get that, it's already done under a temporary waiver.
Well, you have the authority to not grant it. But I mean, probably we're not likely going to do that.
Right.
Move that.
No, I didn't know if it was required.
It's only because the ordinance said.
Okay, well, then that's good. I'll be right. Yeah, that would be right. Okay. All right.
So it's gonna stay at quasi.
Yes. We would like you to have. Any other questions? Okay, we need a motion.
So moved.
Motion to approve family cemetery ordinance. We need a second. Second. We have a second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, you're up again.
I have a rezoning application number 528-2024, Susan Metzger. She's requesting to rezone approximately 1 acre, a 1 acre parcel from residential agriculture to highway commercial in order to have a dog kennel business. The property is located at 4435 Oak Grove School Road in Laurinburg. And she has some other things that she needs to get for the rezoning application. So she is not prepared today for the rezoning right now.
So we don't need to do
She's here, but there's just some things that she needs to get for building code, for this building before she wants to present for the rezoning.
Then we can do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Can we get somebody to make a motion to table this issue?
So,
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Uh,
Any opposed? All right, let's move on to the next.
The major subdivision application 529-2024, Stiff Creek for Bucky's Car Wash. It's a request to create 7 lots out of approximately 45 acres. The property is located on also Oak Grove School Road in Lawrenceburg.
That is cool. I saw that. All right, before you go on, let's open up the public hearing on this. So we'll open the public hearing on this matter at this time. If someone would like to speak for or against, please come on up, state your name. Either one. Nobody? Nobody?
Ms. Green, Ms. Where is this property to?
The property, he wants to know more about like where it's located.
Oak Grove School Road, there's an old shut down school there, I don't,
Is it near the school?
yes,
I gotta assume the cross.
Out near Hastings, near the church.
Yeah,
I'm not sure of that.
going out through Hastings Pass, go down, that's take a right, the school on the left.
Okay.
Yeah. Or the-
Schools come down, we got a lot of water.
It's been there. It's been empty since I was 5 years old. I mean, you know, what, 2, 3 years ago?
I got you.
All right, so we'll close the public hearing now and continue on. Go ahead. Or are you done? You're done?
I believe you told the planning and zoning board, Mr. Queen, that the specifications in our ordinance were met by this application.
Yes, it
As
is.
far as size and
That is correct.
road access and that sort of.
Each lot will have more than 80-foot road frontage.
There's no need all the technical.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. All right, any other questions? Need a motion for this zoning request? So, a motion for approval, need a second? Second, move on. Any other questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, Mrs. Brandon, thanks, ma'am. Board appointments, which one gives?
Mr. Chairman, fellow board members, we have Workforce Development Board, Mr. Dale McInnes resigned from that board, along with his retirement from, RCC. And all of this is a motion. The first is that we appoint Mr. Brent Barbie, who is newly appointed president of RCC, to the Workforce Development Board. The TCC board, Ms. Tyson, I need your help on that one. I remember in our last meeting, we talked about that board and having Mr. Nichols, Mr. Sampson, and Mr. Ward, and that there was a vacancy. Do all of those gentlemen need to be reappointed now?
Well, you mentioned they were already on the board and that there was one vacancy.
So we just have a vacancy?
We just have one vacancy.
Gotcha. Okay. And that's the travel coordinator committee?
Yes, sir.
So we have nothing for that tonight. So my motion is for Mr. Brent Barbie to replace Dr. Dale McInnes on Workforce Development Board. Parks and Recreation Advisory Board has 3 appointments. The 3 gentlemen, William Graves, Enriquez Pate, and Patrick McCormick, have all served, but they've only served 1 term, so recommended that those return. And then for TAB Board, that we reappoint Stephanie Littles, Matthew Locklear, and new appointment Daniel Dockley and Stanton McCallum.
Transportation Development. Briskets.
Yeah.
So that's my motion.
Okay.
But do we need to table that to the next meeting? Because we don't know if Daniel's gonna be, I mean, can he be on that board to be a commissioner? Because he may be a commissioner.
Yeah, he's on
the
the
next
park.
meeting. Do we need to table that to the next meeting?
He can be on.
He can be on, I'm on the Parks and Rec.
Okay.
second, Mr. Tyson, you got all that clear on what?
Yes, sir.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye. All right, county manager report.
Okay. I'm so glad to announce the Walter Maxon Airport land swap deeds have been signed. We still have one final step in the process, and that's, so the property's been deeded to Scotland County. Now Scotland County has to deed the property to RCC. Legally, that's the way it had to be arranged. And so within the next week or so, I think we will be able to complete that deed work. And so that will roll off of your agenda finally. And then,
Do I need to sign it again? I did like 3 times. Okay.
It's not the same deed.
right. So we'll get that finished up. North Turnpike water line, and so of course, as of October 30th, we have had 52 payments, and 42 of those are in your current scope of work for what the project has been approved for. And so 42 have paid. You can read on, it's some of the same information from last month about the cost of the project has increased by $140,000 from our original quote per se. And so, again, you can make a decision tonight if you would like to move forward with the project, or the very, very last time you can make a decision as far as ARPA monies are poured into the project are concerned will be at your next December board meeting. ARPA monies have to be designated by December 31st, and of course, Beth, of course, has worked to do that. So if you can make a decision in December as well, and based on what decision you may make in December, would determine what we do with those ARPA.
42, and I'm sure there'll probably be more. So that's still putting us at $75,000 house.
My motion is that we approve it. We promise it to them and talk about it for 10 years.
Well, it's already approved.
Yeah, we don't need to spend the money.
Yeah, we don't need another.
But what do we?
I guess now is how far you go up.
Well, I think the discussion now is we want to continue.
Would be what?
Yeah, we want to continue it on. We already approved the project. But we've only got 42 signed up.
If I'm following you, the cost is 2.1 million plus the 140,000.
No, it was 2.1 was our water fund, and the 800 that we did put out of, so it was $3 million total. Am I right? $10.
That's just the estimated cost, though. We've not took any bids on it.
No.
That's just estimated.
That's engineers.
Yeah, that's what, this is the highest it would be. I mean, we've not took no bids on it. I think the numbers dramatically changed. We can't take bids on it.
Do you anticipate that changing for the better or worse?
For the better.
The
I
motion,
think the cost will go way down once you start getting bids on it.
so my motion is that we move forward with the promise that we made with this water. If we don't start it, we're never gonna finish it. And so we'll go as far as we can. Isn't that what?
We've got that approved already. So we're just
We're in a
discussing.
motion that we can change.
I think we ought to, I think we ought to go along with it and let the bids come back from contractors. Get enough contractors to bid on it, let the bids come back, and then make that decision.
Right, and the only
Because that's
reason,
gonna be our true
But
cost.
we got time restraint.
that's the
We
problem.
need to go ahead and do.
That's what I'm saying tonight. We
Well,
need to.
and you won't have, because you still have to have a survey before you can put bids out. There's work to be done before you can even put bids out.
So if I can make a suggestion, so we gotta do something with the ARPA money, okay? We can put it back into the fund balance. We put it into the fund balance, and then pull it out of the fund balance if we do the water system.
Do we have to earmark it before December?
31st,
That's
absolutely.
the
So we
issue.
need to earmark it. I think that's your
Yeah,
concern.
whatever we need to do, let's agree to do it
It's
tonight.
earmarked now.
Well, can we not put it back, could we not put it in the fund balance?
After
Can't move it
December
straight in.
31st, you cannot keep moving it back around. As of December 31st, you're either gonna put it in the water system and use it in the water system, or if you don't do the project, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna give the $700,000
I
back.
think the question he's asking is, if we took that allocated ARPA money and moved it back into whatever line to the budget, and then moved that budgeted money back into balance, I mean, we're.
That's exactly what I'm
A
asking.
shell game, right?
Right.
And then we could come back later and take it out of that general
You
fund
can
balance.
take it out of fund balance.
And then it could be, is that within? Yeah, come on.
But we promised, these people have been promised water for over
Right.
20 years. And I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
but with us moving this far on it, you know, we all know that Hope County's moving down into Scotland County. And that's just another invitation for a housing development.
Well, they did, if you get to the bridge, and you take, if you get to the bridge of Scotland, the whole line,
Uh-huh.
it's over the bridge, they're already building out.
Absolutely, and what I'm saying is you know, we all know I'm in the construction business, and I can tell you something, construction business is not good right now. People are cutting each other's throat for jobs right now. And I think the quicker we get that thing out on the bid, the lower the prices will be.
Yeah, I think it's just been a question about that ARPA money, and if we can do it that way,
So with
without
the,
setting off alarms and bells and all that stuff.
so with the ARPA dollars, they've already, the $750 has already been set aside in the water fund. So the question is, are we gonna leave it there? I have until December 31st to move it if we're not. So getting back to the question is, if we move it, yes, we can move it back over to the general fund, but I have to use it as revenue replacement. So
Right.
my revenue replacement is gonna be prior salaries. That's the
Right.
easiest thing to do. So if you decide later on, okay, you want the $750 back, it's not favorable in the local government commission's eyes to move money between the general fund and the enterprise funds. It's been done, it's just not favorable. They're not gonna yell at us for doing it, but they're not gonna be happy.
Yeah, I mean, our only thing is here is if we get past that date, we're committed.
Right, right.
I mean, that's the only.
But we can't keep kicking the can.
No, I agree, I agree.
My thing is, there's an election tomorrow. And we may be a different board. So they won't.
Yeah, man.
There could be one or two that just don't know what's going on.
We talked about it again the 1st of December. boy.
So I'm saying, I don't know how to phrase it because of what you're saying. But whatever we need to do to lock in that money so that we don't have our accountant going through, moving money.
Right, right. I was just trying to make it to where if it went past December 31st, then we wouldn't have to. But I also don't want to set off too many bells and whistles with the local government commission about it.
Yeah, so whatever you board need to do tonight, that we will do this by the 31st of next month, let's do it, because the people in that area, they're questioning why we won't give them water.
Well, and I have no doubt.
It's confusing to me, and I know it's confusing to the vote that live up there.
And I have no doubt that there'll be a lot more than 42. When they see the line being laid down, that's when they'll want to start.
Some of them, as Commissioner Harper said, still don't believe it's gonna happen, that's why they haven't had it.
And that's what I thought. But I'm fine with leaving it like it is. We just, we gotta watch that timeline next month and we'll just move on. I mean, we're committed to it already, so, I mean, the only action we would take tonight would be to undo it, so. And I don't feel that'll be.
Also, like I said, you know, there's hundreds and hundreds of acres of unused land that we're going right by, that would make good developments. I mean, we're, you know, there's already so many houses being built in that area. Just right down the street. There's so many houses, I forgot the number, but it's over 100. It's right down the area, and that's gonna spread over that way. That's gonna spread over that way. It's gonna spread all the way to the Hope County line.
Are you saying that on the line that we're proposing to put this water line, there are 100 houses being built?
Within a mile of it, there's already 100 houses. In the last 2 years, there's probably 100 houses being built in there. Right there on the outskirts
With
of,
those 100 houses, hooked to this?
no, it's already got water.
So it's, they're not gonna attach to the?
No, but I was making the point that this is the kind of growth that we're already getting in the north side of the county.
Well, I think, and if we believe that we're gonna have that kind of growth, then this may make sense. But to spend $3 million to provide water to 42, 50 people is tremendously expensive.
And I understand that, and that's.
It's also an investment. You have to look at it from the standpoint that we're showing those developers that we want to be attractive to them too. They're building the whole county, like a wildfire on there. We want to be enticing the folks to build in Scotland County as well.
And they're about where they can't build because they have not the water that we have. And so, you know,
Just to give you a little hint on that, about, you know, we talked about that water plant up at JPC Cascade. The problem we are having, or will have with that, and haven't had any movement from Polk County on it, most of their water is surface. Groundwater on that end of the county. Our plant is surface. And you can't, I didn't know this, you can't mix that water. It can't be treated and sent out in the same line. So you have to have separate lines for, and see, they've got their lines, but they would have to bypass the whole county to get to it.
but we also got a 7 million gallon a day water plant up there too.
That's what I'm talking about.
That permit for 7 million gallons
That's
a
what I'm
day.
talking about.
Yeah.
That's why more county water.
That's why more, that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a gold mine in the zone right there for,
But they
for
recognize
infrastructure.
they have to run totally different lines. to
They
survive
have
the
to
routes.
run,
Yeah.
Their northern part of their county is on surface water protection river. So if they can get it to there, they're okay, but I don't think it's financially for them to run that. But that doesn't say Moore County.
You know, and I understand, you know, just use the number $3 million. We'll use that number for right now. I understand that's a lot of money for 40 people, but it ain't 40 people. That's just people that signed up. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about, you know, like, growth. If you build it, they will come. Because that's what people are looking for. They're looking for water. They're looking for water.
Especially up there.
We have to invest in Scotland County if we want it to grow.
And in that part of the county, you got military that's moving in there just as hard as they can move in there.
Yeah.
And they're going there and building these big, nice houses that we like to see get built. They building homes and futures. That's what we like to see. And I think the water is a big part of that.
Okay, so what I'm hearing, we're not gonna do anything.
I think we need to get the bids in.
Then go ahead and do whatever we
We
do.
do need executive session there.
Process.
Okay. East Lawrenceburg property, if you remember at our last meeting, you wanted to know if the previous person who was willing to pay $65,000 for the 3 parcels was still willing to do that. They are. If you would like to approve that, then I will work with the realtor to get that property sold.
Any motion on that?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and second to sell of each one, that's the 2 lots and the building.
Yes, sir.
Okay, $65,000, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Holiday appreciation lunch, we talked about this some last meeting as well. I went back to that committee, who's the appreciation committee for the county. They have agreed or are requesting to close county offices from 11 to 2 on December 4th. They've already reserved a Presbyterian church who is going to allow us to have our holiday luncheon there. Of course, we had an I. Johnson last year, but they're hoping it will be a little bit bigger this year, but we would like all county staff to be there at one time. We would like for them not to have to funnel in and out and take out plates. We would like for them to be able to sit, socialize, know each other. And the appreciation committee is asking that we close county offices for that brief amount of time on that one day.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Second, Commissioner Williams. Any other discussion or questions? That's the same date that we did last time.
It is, the date has approved.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Hey,
All right,
The emergency watershed program, we will, actually, since you got this report, we have been approved for emergency watershed program funding. I can't tell you the amount of funding we've approved for, because the way this federal program works is we come up with projects, we submit the projects, and then they tell us if they are approved or not. And so our soil and water conservationist, Miss Amy Miller, is out gathering those projects, and so by next week, she will start submitting those up to determine how much money we get approved for. But of course, this money, again, is to do things like clean out ditches, creeks, any debris that is creating flooding when we have major rains or hurricanes. This would be in addition to the STRAP funds over $100,000 that we've already got to do the same purpose. So that's good news for that. Core grant, we were awarded or told we were going to be awarded the Core grant. If you remember, this is the $10 million that the county would be awarded, and then we were going to the SCAP was going to be a sub-recipient through us in order to do the housing project over at IJ. Unfortunately, based on other events in our state, we got a call last week saying that they had to put a hold on those funding, us and 5 other projects. Those fundings are temporarily on hold. They cannot say if we will get that funding or if we will not. They said they are looking for other sources to replace that, and that we would know nothing. They know we will not know anything for at least 60 days. And so that basically just pauses that entire process right now. So when I know more, you will know more about that.
so we still can't move forward deeding that CCAP still.
I wouldn't, no, you cannot.
Because of the environment.
I applied for a cybersecurity grant several months ago. After our network incident happened, we learned last week we will receive $190,000 to improve our cybersecurity in our county. That's good news. We also learned that our EDC will receive $200,000 for industrial site enhancement program. Of course, Mark applied for that. And we were one of a few counties to actually get that funding. So that's another $200,000 in grant funds. One thing that is not on my report, but I need to bring up because it has occurred since the report went out. You know that we have gotten funding to build a new EMS center. And so our first step in that was to get site development plans done, or put out for bid site development planning. And so we put that out for bid once. We extended it another 30 days, and we got 2 bids in. And so our committee opened the sealed bids, did the scoring, and we are recommending Alliance to get the contract to do site development for the new EMS site. And so we would like your approval to award that to Alliance. Of course, Mr. Johnson would review that contract. He's already started looking over that in the event that you all will approve that.
We've already got it from the state.
We do have the funding, yes, we've
And
signed.
how much is this contract?
Just over $100,000 for site development.
and then we're going to qualify
they were the bidder with the highest score. And, oh, yes, most qualified. They have experience building other county buildings such as, I believe they have building other EMS, they have built fire stations, very similar buildings to what we were doing.
Where does this company located?
Where is Alliance out of?
Columbia, South Carolina.
You ever used it before?
And they built out one of our, EDC stations.
All right, so we'll need a motion for that. So moved. We have a motion, and a second. Who's second? Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right.
The last of my report is just some things going on in the county that we think will enhance the county. Our new personnel team is designing orientation for all new staff that come to the county. Now, starting in January, when we hire new staff, they will go through an in-person orientation that talks them through county policy, helps them get their benefits set up, safety protocols, you name it. They'll spend almost a day with our personnel staff getting oriented in Scotland County. And our department heads came together, said they really wanted that for their new staff, and they wanted to hear one central message going out to staff. And then finally, courthouse security. We have talked about that from time to time. We've had requests from our judges to improve our courthouse security. So two things are going on. Beginning Veterans Day, November 11th, the magistrate office renovations will begin. And then we have signed a contract to get the cameras replaced at the courthouse as well. So those two security measures are on their way. And that's not it.
Ms. Hayes, did you mention the recycling center, or nothing's changed?
Nothing's changed with that. Of course, after tonight, we are doing some reorganization with the landfill. And now we will go back to that project, and move forward with that. Because we still have an interested party where the land is, and, can survey that out and start that project.
Anything else?
That's all.
Yes, sir.
On the Southeast Regional Airport Authority property, it's been about 2 years since the board initially approved that transaction. I think the property is being leveled out of a bunch of costs, now it's for their property, so it's also attractive to what Sarah and Lee and make horses to the truck.
That would be the way we're the motion.
Right, it's surplus and it's transferable to us. I would make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Aye. We have a second. Any other discussion? Would you like to ask a question? No. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Commissioner News, Commissioner Frizell.
Yes, sir. No, I ain't got anything.
Commissioner Nixon. Commissioner Patterson. Commissioner Whitten. Commissioner Alford. Anything?
Yes. Let me go first.
No, we're saving him for last.
Hey, go ahead, go ahead. Well, I said something to the commissioners earlier, just to make them aware, I was going to make this motion. I wish I'd made it earlier, but I'd like to move that we honor former Commissioner Bob Davis by putting a plaque in the law that we center just in his honor, and perhaps in one of the classrooms that we have. That would be my motion.
I'll second that motion.
Which room? There's the part or the part, like PD room.
There, I'm sorry, that little building center, you have, when you walk in a room to the left, that's like the media room, and then you have two other rooms that are the same size that are like media rooms. So you have three rooms.
I don't know if it matters.
I don't think it matters, just that,
Okay.
just find an appropriate room and put the plaque in there. That was one of them.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Discussion? All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay.
And, the late, Michael Alford, who worked for, Department of Recreation, he, took care of that gym up there, so I'm told, in such a manner that citizens in Bar Hill have asked that we name the gym floor in honor of Michael Alford. We agreed to it, but we never acted on it officially. So my motion tonight is that we honor the request by naming the gym floor in honor of the late Michael Alford, who worked for Park and Recreation for a long period of time.
When he passed, he still worked there, so.
Yeah, and, I didn't know that he took care of the gym like that, but they said he was responsible for the old one. The old one, staying open and workable as long as it did.
So you want to put a plaque?
No,
We'll name the floor.
they want to name the gym, the new gym
Yeah,
floor.
but where are you gonna, you're not gonna put that
They
on?
would, oh, yeah, would, they can name those floor.
That's
That
what
way,
that happen. You can make that happen.
I'll second that.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay.
And I wanted to finish with a lot about this new, I was talking to our chairman, and perhaps we want to recognize the family, because the late Bob Davis has a son, and Michael Alford, he has a brother in California that have said that he would come back to Lundberg if that happened. So I'm thinking the appropriate place to do it would be
At the rec.
at the recreation center in Bar Hill. I'm just throwing that out there.
I mean, I agree with that.
Normally we do it, standing here, but.
Yeah, I'm good with
not
that.
in Bar Hill.
You gotta get some time to get the flags, maybe.
Yeah, it'll
Figure out how we
take a
do
while
that.
to put this together.
Do that on the court too, as far as putting that.
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah. You coordinate that. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody's mind? Good, all right.
Just one last thing, I'd like to express my appreciation to this board, to the staff of the people in Scotland County, particularly our county manager, and I shouldn't start naming names because I'll obviously leave a lot of people out, but there are a lot of people in this room that worked for the county for a number of years, and a lot of them who've just contributed greatly to good things that have happened in our county. And you know who you are, and you know what you mean to me. I will mention one name. Ed Johnston and I have been good friends for a long time. And he's kept me out of trouble when I was a clerk of court, and kept me somewhat out of trouble as a county commissioner. But I appreciate the time that I've served here and the opportunity that the people of Scotland County have afforded me. Let me do that. So to all of you, thank you very much.
Thanks, sir. Anything else? With that said, we need to go into a quick closed session. I think the board has something to cover with us. So I don't think we'll take it. Thank you all. Don't be late. Jay here. Don't be late.